Welcome everyone to this next video lesson. Make sure you have paper and pencil out ready to copy everything down in order for you to understand everything that I'm going to present, right? And particularly this video lesson because this is a right triangles quiz preview, right? And this is actually the same exact worksheet that you're going to have as your assignment. So the instructions say we're going to find the missing side of each triangle. We're going to round your answers to the nearest tenth if necessary. Okay? So this first triangle is missing one side here. And it's a right triangle, and I know it's a right triangle because we have a right angle. Right? So when we're missing one side, we can use the Pythagorean theorem. Well, what the heck is the Pythagorean theorem? Well, let's go back over here and let's look at our notes here. And this is the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. C is the biggest. C is the biggest side of a right triangle. It is across from the 90-degree angle. So across from the 90-degree angle is our C. All right? That's important to find first. After that, A and B doesn't really matter which you choose. This could have been A and this could have been B. That's okay. So let us make this A and let us make this B. So again, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So let's write that down here. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Let us substitute. A is 13 squared, B is x squared, C is 85 squared. So I'm going to draw my line of separation. I'm going to move this 13 squared over as minus 13 squared. Right? So I'm left with x squared is equal to 85 squared minus 13 squared. Well, the opposite of squaring something is square rooting it on the other side. So square root of 85 squared minus 13 squared. So I'm going to go over here, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to find my Desmos scientific calculator. Right? So I am finding 85 squared, square root of 85 squared minus 13 squared. Square root of 85 squared minus 13 squared gives me 84. Look at that. So I get x is equal to 84. And that, kiddos, is my solution. I have found x, and as a matter of fact, it's equal to, it's not just 84, it's 84 miles, right? 84 miles. So that means that from here all the way to here is 84 miles. All right? There you go. That's how you do number one, right? Using your notes. All right, number 2 says, state if each triangle is a right triangle. Okay, so I don't know where the right angle is on this, right? But what I do know is, again, going back to my notes, is that, let me delete this, the biggest side is C, and the other two are A and B. So the biggest side here is obviously 15, right? So this is our C. A and B, it doesn't matter which is A or B. I'm going to make this A here, and I'm going to make this B, right? So Pythagorean theorem says A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So I'm going to substitute. A is 14 squared plus B is 12 squared equals C is 15 squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two into the calculator. 14 squared plus 12 squared. So I'm going to go back here to my trusty calculator, and I'm going to say 14 squared plus 12 squared. That gives me 340. So I get 340. And then on the right side, I'm going to do 15 squared. So let's do 15 squared. 15 squared is 225. So 225. So that means that 340 is not equal to 225. That's obvious, right? This number is bigger than this number. So since they are not equal, these dimensions here, these numbers do not represent a right triangle. They might be a regular triangle, but this is saying state if each triangle is a right triangle where it has a 90-degree angle. And since these are not equal, you say not a right triangle. Not a right triangle for number 2. Okay? So these are two kinds of problems you're going to see in your quiz, right? So let's go to the next set of numbers. This says find the missing side lengths, leave your answers as radicals in simplest form. Okay, so number 3 here, I automatically notice this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. This is a 45, 45, 90 triangle, right? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to find my notes on 45, 45, 90, and here they are, 45, 45, 90. So I know that my hypotenuse is going to be in red. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to do this. My hypotenuse is going to be in red. Look at that. Then I notice my 2 legs, which are the same, are in blue. So let us go back here and choose blue. Right? So this is blue here, and this is blue there. Look at that. All right. So since I'm going to do my easiest one, since this is blue and this is blue, that means that they are equal. And they are. Look at that. Blue and blue, 1 and 1. They are equal to each other. So that means that y is equal to 53. So I'm going to say here, right? So I'm going to say here, y is equal to 53, and I'm done. Easy. Okay? But now I need to find x. So x is red. So I'll go red to red. So x will go over radical 2. Okay, so x will go over radical 2. And that is equal to blue to blue. 53 will go over to 1. See? Blue, blue. 53 over 1. So let's take a look. 53 over 1. So now I cross multiply 53 times 2, radical 2 times 53, and x times 1. Well, this is the easy one, right? X times 1 is x. Radical 2 times 53 is 53 radical 2. And that, kiddos, is our solution. We have found x. We have found y. Okay, look at that. Okay, let's look at number 4. Number 4 is also a 45, 45, 90 triangle. I'm going to put 45 here. Degrees, right? 45, 45, 90. Right? I know this is a 90. 45, 45, 90. Okay, so we remembered that my hypotenuse, my longest side, is in red. across from the 90 here was my hypotenuse is in red, the longest side, and then that my legs were in blue, and both blue because they are equal. So I can say here x equals y, but that doesn't help me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do red to red first. So 59 radical 2 over, okay, that's this red, over that red is radical 2. So we say radical 2 is equal to x blue 1. So x over 1. So x over 1. We butterfly multiply, right? 59 radical 2 times 1 is 59 radical 2. Radical 2 times x is x radical 2. The opposite of multiplying by radical 2 is dividing by radical 2. These two cancel out, so I'm left with 59 is equal to x. Look at that. And since both of these are blue and blue, that means that these are equal, so x is equal to y, right? So x is equal to y now. And I can substitute my x because I know x is 59. So I can say 59 is equal to y. And look at that. I have found my x and I have found my y. Okay? So you're definitely going to see some problems like that in the quiz. Okay? Let's go to our last two problems. And this says 90 and this says 60, so that means that this angle here is 30 degrees. So let us find our right angle here, right? And our hypotenuse, we know that we do in red, is across from the 90, right? Okay, so this is our red here. All right, 30, 60, 90 triangle. Let's take a look. There it is. So across from my 60 is green, is my long side. So across from my 60 is green, which is the long side, which is that side here. Do I have green? Let's go with that one. Let's say this is green. Okay. So look at that. And then my other side is purple. Across from the 30 is purple. Across from the 30 is purple. So we're going to pick purple here. And there you go. So let's start comparing with our 30, 60, 90 triangle, right? So I'm going to go red over red. 5 over radical 2. I mean 2. Actually, just regular 2. Look, 5 over 2. So I'm going to say here 5 over 2 is equal to green over green, x over radical 3. So x over radical 3. I cross multiply, right? 2 times x. And radical 3 times 5, radical 3 times 5 is 5 radical 3. 2 times x is 2x. The opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. I cannot divide 5 by 2. Radical 3 I can divide by 2 because this is radical 3 and this is not a radical. So since I can't divide 5 over 2, I'm going to leave it 5 over 2. So I'm going to say 5 radical 3 over 2 is equal to x. Look at that. That's our x. Perfect. Now I need to find my y. So red to red I know was 5 over 2. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say 5 over 2 is equal to purple to purple. Y over 1. Look at that. Y over 1. So we're going to write here y over 1. Well, 5 divided by 2, I can't divide 5 by 2, so I'm going to leave it 5 over 2. Y divided by 1 is just y. And there is my y. There you go. Look at that. I have found my x. I have found my y. Right? That's how you do number 5. Let me move this over a little bit so it could be closer together. There you go, right there. And that's 5. You will definitely see a problem like that. Finally, the last kind of problem you're going to see is also a 30, 60, 90, right? Look, there's my 90. There's my 30. That means that this is 60 degrees right there. 30, 60, 90. So if I recall here, let me see. My long side was red. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. My long side was red here, right? What is my side across from 30? Let's see. Across from 30 was purple. Okay, let's go back to purple then. Across from 30 is purple. And then the other one was green, I think, right? Okay, let's do green. All right, so this was... Okay, so let's start to compare stuff. So let's go purple to purple. Purple to purple was 13 over 1. All right, so let's go 13 over 1 is equal to, let's go red to red, x over 2. So red to red, x over 2. Cross multiply. 2 times 13 is 26. 1 times x is x. And look at that. We have found our x. We found x is equal to 26. So I know my 13 over 1, right? I'm going to use 13 over 1 again. 13 over 1. Now I'm going to find my y. So I'm going to go green to green, which is radical 3. So y over radical 3. Y over, what am I doing? Y over radical 3. I cross multiply. Uh-oh. Oop, glitch. I cross multiply. 13 times radical 3 is 13 radical 3. 1 times y is y. And boom, look at that. I have found my x and I have found my y. You will definitely see problems like this as well. And you will definitely see problems like all of these in the quiz, in your quiz. So make sure that you copied all of this down, because this is the exact same worksheet as well that is going to be assigned to you, that has been assigned to you. Okay? Rewind if you have to, pause if you have to make sure you got everything down. Thank you guys for being here. See you next time. Good luck on that quiz.